start with the presidency and what the presidency said about this community of practice. They told us about the intentions around interministerial collaboration at a government level, and Cabinet has established an interministerial committee involving a range of different departments that I've listed for you there. And the purpose of this engagement is to coordinate and ensure the implementation of the integrated program of action on ECD. There's a lot of different layers to this collaboration. So there's an interdepartmental task team that is working to do the groundwork. There's also a forum of DDGs and a forum of DGs, and then there is the actual interministerial committee. So there's multiple layers of engagement that are happening among these different departments. And the message that came very strongly from the presidency is the government is working very hard at ensuring interministerial collaboration and coordination. And their strongest message to this community of practice was the following, that they need civil society to be ready, and they want a powerful and cohesive voice from civil society. So we can debate this and we can engage with this conceptually, but I'm relaying the message, and I'll ask Zanele in a minute to add to that from her side. The call from the presidency was to create cohesion as a civil society body. I told you that last week the PSPPD project met with members of the Bridge Community of Practice in Cape Town, and they told us a little bit about what that project is doing. It's designed to support the presidency and the National Planning Commission. They work with senior policymakers, including the Premier's office in 4 provinces, Gauteng, Limpopo, East and KZN. There are different sectoral interests that they have, but in education their sectoral interest is ECD, particularly because it's got a cross-sectoral focus, and it involves the social and economic clusters and links to the work of the EPWP in providing training for ECD practitioners. They're looking for evidence-based decision-making, the idea of using information about working practice to drive policy-making and then implementation of that policy. And again, the message was the need for cohesion in civil society and the need for multi-stakeholder collaboration. And also the need for some kind of repository so that there can be information about what's working, what practice is working, so that there can be the building of evidence-based policy making for that. Zanele, perhaps this is a good moment to ask you if you have anything you'd like to add about other things in this project.
Okay, I just wanted to add on the structures that since you came to meet with us, Cabinet in November has approved the integrated program of action, the implementation of the program of action. That was the one. The other thing was to say that within all the levels, the National Planning Commission is represented. So on the interministerial group, President Trevor Manuel sits on there as one of the head of the Planning Commission. And then on the DDG's forum as well, we have our head of the National Planning Commission sitting there. On the National Integrated Interdepartmental Committee, I sit there as well. So for each and every one of those structures, and the DDG in the presidency, who's also overseeing the National Planning Commission, who's with Trevor, is also on there. So the National Planning Commission is represented on there. And maybe you might want to talk a bit about the role of the National Planning Commission at some point. That was the one issue I wanted to add. The other one was around the whole focus on ensuring that as the program of action plan has been approved, that it's not business as usual, and it's not what we know, but to build in good practice and things that we've learned over the years to inform this new kind of rollout. So the whole issue around ensuring that the practice that works is embedded in that and informing that. So those are the two things, and hence the focus on also coming up with some research and looking at models that are going to inform, so that it's not the usual in terms of what government thinks and it just holds out and doesn't bear in mind all the existing evidence or existing practice that has been over the years that NGOs and other partners have worked with.
Okay, and I think from what I understood last week in the PESPD meeting, the presidency of this project is interested in engaging potentially with the bridge ECD community of practice as the kind of forum that could share that sort of